Mixed martial arts is becoming the world's fastest growing sport. It is a full contact combat sport which incorporates many different martial arts, including Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing, and many more. From being viewed as a bloody spectacle with no rules to becoming one of the world's fastest growing sports, MMA has come a long way. Fighting out of the prestigious London Shoot Fighters, Farid Basharat has his sights set on becoming MMA's next biggest star.
I know for a fact, hand on heart, that I can be the very best fighter in the world.
He's preparing for a fight where he can prove himself. Can he rise to the challenge?
And the referee, it's over. Oh, we got it! Fist again! You've been wondering if there's a hero.
One of the owners and head coaches at London Shoot Fighters is Alexis Dimitriades. Alexis has coached many fighters to the highest level in MMA.
I've been coaching MMA for 23 years now, just MMA. I started off when I was very, very young, boxing, and then moved on to other combative martial arts. So with mixed martial arts, the rule set is quite basic in that there are no groin strikes, no eye gouging, no back of the head shots, and no downward elbows. And that would mean from sky to earth, downward. So you can do things at an angle, but nothing downward, as they deem it to be illegal on the spine. So wrestling dictates where fights go, and most of the athletes are very, very well conditioned, so it's really useful. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or Japanese Jiu-Jitsu in some people's eyes, ground fighting is a necessity. 95% of fights end up on the ground. So if you don't know how to fight on the ground, it's like jumping in the sea when you can't swim. It's not going to happen.
Coming from a jiu-jitsu background, Arya Esfanmaz is the head instructor at London Shoot Fighters and highlights the importance of groundwork.
I think it's incredibly important for an MMA fighter to know jiu-jitsu. I mean, nowadays the level's so high, you need to know a little bit about everything, but MMA, the growth of MMA was a large part due to jiu-jitsu. I mean, the Gracie family made the UFC to showcase the power of ground, and now if you don't know ground, you won't get very far. One of the things that I really like about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is always evolving. Like, if you watch Jiu-Jitsu now and 10 years ago, it's completely different. And again, 10 years before that. And even now, it's still evolving. But the thing that will always stay the same is retaining those traditional values that came from Japan.
One, step, one, two, three.
So, bowing when you come in the mats, always being respectful to someone that's a higher grade or older, It retains all of those things while still evolving as a modern martial art.
Being a fighter is all about progression. And for you to work up the ranks and get to these sort of big, high-paid, high-profile shows, we suggest that you do a lot of the beginner classes. And you don't have to have any formal knowledge in anything. You don't even have to be athletic. So we've got guys in UFCs that have, started with no experience whatsoever, barely even played a sport. And we've done that, like I said, for over 20 years. We've had guys in, main eventing in every show there is. So we know how to get guys from zero to a high level. But that would be the route that I would suggest. Jumping from no fights to a professional fight, it's a bit on the awkward side. I'd say dangerous side, to be honest with you. I think people nowadays don't give it enough respect. I think people just train a little bit and jump into a fight. And they think, what's the worst that can happen? I can get knocked out. That's the nicest thing that can happen to you in a fight, if it goes wrong. You ending up in hospital, brain damage with broken orbitals and broken faces and plastic surgery, that's more likely what can happen, which we've seen it go wrong for people. So I would suggest that people have to go to a reputable place with good experience and take their time getting there.
One fighter who knows these risks all too well is Felix. whose fight preparation came to a halt after an unexpected injury.
It's always unfortunate when you got to pull out of a contest. With this one, we tried, like I pulled my tricep probably like 3 weeks before the fight, and we tried to go through it, and it kind of worked, but then like it got worse and worse and worse. So unfortunately, we had to pull out. It's not something that we like to do. It's not something that I've done before. But I just simply couldn't use my left arm, which is, you always think, okay, now all the hard work's been for nothing. You think of your opponent as well. You want to always give someone a fight, especially if you have agreed to it. But at the same time, I got to see it in the long term.
London Shoot Fighters is also home to one of the UK's biggest MMA stars, Michael Page.
How I went from, competing on the smaller shows, as you say, it's like the UCMMAs, the Cage Warriors, the kind of the smaller mixed martial arts shows in the UK, to the bigger shows like the Bellators and the other big shows that are out there. I went to Super Fight League at one point as well. Was purely because of my style. So I was kind of lucky enough to have a very unique style that is very eye-catching to many people. In my first fight, I had a very flashy finish and knockout that went viral, and straight away a lot of people could see the potential. I didn't get signed right away, but they were people that did reach out literally after my first fight, just to say, they are watching. What I suggest for other people is you might not have a necessarily flashy style, but it's always important to have be aware of the character that you're presenting as well. Make it authentic to yourself, but it's important to understand that you are a brand as well as an athlete. And a lot of people tend to forget that. So they focus on training hard and, being good at their craft, which is 100% important, but then they neglect being a personality and something that people want to talk about and actually want to promote. Or you should make it easy for other people to promote, and that's one of the things that I actually paid attention to as well.
Farid, one of London Shoot Fighters' rising stars, has extremely high ambitions within MMA.
I came here when I was 3 years old. Obviously, everyone's aware of the situation in Afghanistan. We fled the Taliban, and being an immigrant in this country, it's not like we left there and straight away we came to a great new life here. It was really good here, but it's just the culture clash. Like culturally, socially, religiously, everything was just so new, and so it took a while to get into the culture of this country. When I came here straight away, I was like a kid in Disneyland, literally. Like, I remember as soon as we came here, we checked out the cage, we checked out some of the coaches, at work. We checked out the boxing bag and the wrestling mat, and it was just, I was like straight away, I said, that's it. This is where we're coming. It sounds a bit cliche, but everything I do, I want to do it 100%. I'm an extremist. I'm all in or all out. I'm never in the middle. I'll try it out, blah blah blah. So from the get-go, as soon as I joined this gym, I knew I wanted to be a fighter. That's it. That's the reason I didn't go to university, because I had all my chips in one basket. MMA is just, I don't know, man. I used to play football, and after a while, like during a football match, I'd be thinking about like not starting a fight, but like my mind wouldn't be on football, and naturally I'm a bit of a, I attract to fighting and scrapping, so I feel like it's just in me, it's what I do.
6, 7, 4, 3, 5.
Yeah, the work ethic at London Shoot Fighters, I mean, everybody knows what it's like. It's hard, it's real hard.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, time. Good job. Control your breathing. Okay, stand up, let's go.
Coach Alexis and Paul, they're always on your case. And they're unbelievable. It really helps for everybody to have a similar work ethic. Do you know what I mean? It's not like one person works really hard and the other, is dragging them down. Everybody here is just high level.
yeah, the work ethic here is exceptional. Like, I've trained in a few other places, like when I'm on holiday or something, and just to get the vibe here, the coaches are here 24/7. They always guide you. You get pushed to your absolute limits.
A big influence in Farid's life is Javid, his older brother. The Basharat brothers are supportive of each other in all aspects of MMA.
Yeah, training alongside Javid is great. Literally, like, I mean, we're so lucky to be. Besides being my brother, we're so lucky to be the exact same weight, you know, and I have a very similar mentality. You know, like, if I need to work something, I just grab him, oh, let me use you, and vice versa. And also, as well as having like I'm always thinking about what I did right and wrong in training. I have another mind, like a very good, sound mind. He's very technical, and he's telling me what you did right and wrong. It's just another pair of eyes.
But your back won't be like, but is your man still back behind me? Ain't that important? Like, you ain't really seen it like that before, not like that before. You like, when you put it like that, you right.
Farid is 3 weeks out from his next fight on UCMMA, one of the UK's most popular MMA shows. As the fight date gets closer, he begins to cut his weight using various techniques.
One of the most important things that, you know, people don't see, I mean, you guys always see on camera the fight, but what you don't see is the diet that takes place 4, 5, 6 weeks leading up. You know, you gotta make sure keep your weight down. And another thing is the water cut that we do. You know, fight week, we start bringing down our carbs, take away salt, and the night before or the morning of the weigh-in, you know, some people get in a sauna, some people get in a hot bath, you know, and we just sweat it all out. And in fighting, everyone says it's the toughest thing in fighting. Is the water cut. You know, it's yeah, it's horrific, but it's got to be done to gain that advantage, I guess.
Farid is a great fighter. He's super technical, super tough. His ability to pick up techniques and also to do them is something that I look up to, and I find it very impressive. And I think, yeah, he's gonna, him and his brother, no doubt they're gonna achieve very, very big things.
Farid and Javid, the Basharat brothers, I think they're absolutely amazing. I've seen them from when they first started to now, and they, very different to myself. They know everything about martial arts in the sense that they watch boxing, they watch kickboxing, they know all the guys on the smaller shows, they know all the guys on the bigger shows. They are very intelligent fighters, and it's one thing I always say, no matter what sport you are in terms of combat, the most intelligent fighter tends to win.
Farid's amazing, you know, like just seeing his groundwork. I mean, I think they're both, Farid and his brother Jav, relatively new to the sport, but like watching the guys roll, I've seen them roll with black belts and they do really, really well. And then I can see those guys up and coming, for sure.
The pads are there, you don't like it, move around and get to your position where you like it.
Farid in particular is very dedicated as well. He's really dedicated to the sport. And also, characteristically, he's a perfectionist. You know, he wants to get things right, which is good and bad. Because sometimes in a fight, it doesn't have to be perfect to win. But I've seen Farid do something, you know, win a fight and be pissed off and be annoyed and be upset. And that shows a mark of something, you know? It's a testament to his character. He wants to get it right. If you look at his fights, he's got, you know, knockouts, submissions, he's undefeated as a professional and as an amateur. He's a very, you know, he's a talent.
After a grueling 8-week fight camp, Farid is now in prime condition, both mentally and physically, for his fight.
Usually I fight at 61.5 kilos, bantamweight, and I usually walk around 70 kilos, so 8.5 kilo cut. It's a fair cut, you know, definitely not easy, but at the same time, I feel like I'm experienced enough now. I've done it a few times now, so I get it, you know, I got it on point. I feel very good for my upcoming fight. Camp went great. I've done all the necessary rounds, all the necessary cardio, drilling. My diet and everything has been super strict, so I feel great, and I think I'm gonna get the knockout. Yeah, I know a little about my opponent. I know he's had a lot of fights, not particularly very technical, but he's a gamer and he's a scrapper. He's got some hands on him, so I'm just gonna have to take it nice and easy, feel him out a little bit, and then I'll get to work. Download his data and then see what's up. My goal is to be the best I can be. Give it my all, and I know the best I can be is the best in the world. I know that for a fact. If I don't cut any corners, if I stay at London Shoot Fights, listen to my coaches, listen to my brother, I know for a fact, hand on heart, that I can be the very best fighter in the world.
Hear what I say, we are the business today. Fuck shit is finished today. RT and J, we the new PB&J. We dropped the classic today. We did a tablet of acid today. Lit joints with the matches and ashes away. We dash away. Donna and Dixon, the pistol is blasting away.
Doctors of death, killing our patients of breath. We are the pain you can trust. Broken at work, hooking up curses and slurs. Smoking my brain in a mush. I became famous for blaming you fuck. Naming my way through the brush. There was no training or taming of me and my bro. Live like a man.
Moments away from his fight, Farid shows no sign of slowing down and is ready to get into the cage.
Back and forth, like, fuck up what you're asking for, but just back and forth, like, but is your man still back or home? He ain't that important, like, you ain't really seen it like that before, not like that before, you like, when you put it like that, you right, nigga think you got it like that, when I act like that, alright, I'm about to have to backtrack, back on fact, you right, you right, yeah. When you put it like that, you right. Nigga think you got it like that when I act like that, alright. I'm about to have to backtrack, back on fact, you right, yeah. Already know what you want, bitch, why you keep hitting my phone?
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be 3 rounds of mixed martial arts action fought in the featherweight division. Fighting out of the red corner, this fighter weighed in at 66 kilograms. He represents Team Scott. He is Sam. And fighting out of the blue corner, this fighter weighed in at 66.1 kilograms. He represents London Shoot Fighters. He is Farid Basharat.
So here we go. Basharat flies through the air. Sam Stewart looking for that sink, but Basharat very quick. Standing rear naked. Matter of seconds. Wow.
After an impressive win, Farid is pleased with his performance and looks to the future.
I think I performed very well. It was short and sweet. You can't, you never know how this, a fight's gonna go. So I definitely didn't think it was going to be that quick. I knew it wouldn't be too long, but I didn't think it was going to be 14 seconds. So I'm happy.
At just 14 seconds of the very first round, we have a winner. By way of submission to rear naked choke, Farid Basharat!
To be honest, I'm going to take it one fight at a time. Hopefully my next, it's Ramadan now, so I'm going to do that, and I'm still going to train. Hopefully fight straight after Ramadan, maybe July. I'll be happy with the July fight. 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, and then I could get into a, maybe a good organization, start fighting some big names. I'm just very content. One thing you have to understand as a fighter is delayed gratification. You must know that Right now I'm suffering and I'm working hard, but eventually it's going to all be worth it. For that 15 minutes I get in the cage, it's going to be worth it, and I feel absolutely, you know, content and happy and relieved I got the win.
This is a small step on a big journey for Farid as he pursues his dreams to be the biggest MMA fighter in the world.
Tell your sister it's wrong way.